Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to your bells, this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to ourselves to understand why we need to practice meditation, and out of this practice, what are the benefits that you can gain, and how that benefits can help for your inner awareness, and why it is important as ordinary people for us, and at the same time, in long term, how it going to bring our liberation, or how it can take us to the Nibbana. So when it comes to our life, and when it comes to this samsaric journey, that you are at the right place. So this is the exactly perfect place for us to find the liberation. So remember, there is no any place better than this. So we have to start the journey right now, right here. And if you look at the human history, when it comes to the Buddha, even he came to the human world, and all other spiritual leaders, even though they used to talk about high powers beyond this human life, they came through this human form to talk about it. So you have that opportunity. So then from here, you have to cultivate exactly the right thing for you. So when it comes to your life, at least take few days yourself to understand how you can find what you want out of this life. Because the thing is, the most of our time we spend for unnecessary things. And on the way, sometimes we got tired, and then sometimes we recognize that is not our purpose, and sometimes we spend so much time for people and a lot of other activities. And the most of time, we lose our great opportunity because depending on unnecessary things. So if you enough wise to understand what you want out of this life, and you can focus into that and see how that your purpose going to take you to ultimate goal or the liberation. As you know, even though that we are here today like this, we know from somewhere we came to here. No one can deny it. So from somewhere we came here. We don't know from where. And we have this opportunity today. And at the same time, we know from this point, we will go somewhere. We don't know where we go, but we know for sure, 100%, guaranteed. We all going to die. And when the day comes for that, we don't know where we go. So then it's nothing to do with the religion. It's nothing to do with meditation. It's nothing to do with the Buddhism. That is the very simple truth. When it comes to our own life, that is what we experience. We came from somewhere and we have this opportunity today, and at the same time, we're going to go somewhere. And another thing is, when we go, and we don't know when it's going to happen. No one can guarantee about it. Maybe in the very next moment, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, maybe after few years, but somehow it's going to happen. So when it's going to happen, we know we can't take anything with us, these material things. No any people going to come with us. Even you can't take this body with you. We know that also. So then we know we have a journey to go, and we know we can't take anything in this material world, but still, that whatever we gain to our mind as mental qualities, going to decide where we go, and after that, how that life going to be. So as you know, in day-to-day life, when we ready to travel, we pack our luggage and we take the exactly necessary things, because we don't take unnecessary things, but some people do. And sometimes some people travel with others and they have travel partners. Sometimes some people don't like to travel alone. And sometimes they ask, can you come with me? And sometimes people like to go together. So this journey, the same kind of like that. And if you are enough wise to understand, and you also can prepare for that. So we're not depending from the past. We're not depending from our future, but still taking the lessons from our past. We have ability to to prepare for our future. That is a very conventional way of behavior when it comes to our human mind. That is skill you already have. If you use it, and that's where we become matured as ordinary people. So when you prepare for your journey, what you can take with you? So then now you know you can't take it to your hand, and everything going to depend on your condition of your mind. So then we have to look into ourselves. With this mind, if we die, what will happen? Sometimes we think, oh, I'm crazy. Some other people say sometimes we are crazy. We are idiot. Ignorance. Foolish. Sometimes you have to ask the people, whoever close to you. They will tell you. And sometimes we can't see ourselves. We can't see our own blind spot. Sometimes somebody need to knock the horn. And then we, wake up kind of like, oh, I have to, to move forward, or I'm going the wrong way, or kind of like sometimes. So like that, sometimes other people knock the horn, raise their voice. Sometimes they remind things from our past. Sometimes they warn. So in that moment, we have to understand, hey, that's mean I'm still have to work for myself. So it's a very fair question yourself. You have to look into you and ask, in this condition, if you die, what will happen? So then we have to understand it is depend on the condition of the mind, and then we have to work for that. Why? Because with this mind, we can't, because there are a lot of blind spots and other things. There are a lot of dust in us. It's kind of like the crow oil. With this crow oil, we can't die. We have to refine our thoughts. There is something better version in us. Maybe we didn't experience it yet. For that, there are many reasons. But you have to understand it. This is not your best version as a human being in this very life. That's why we still depend on the hopes or the desires, wanting, needing, collecting, depending on things. Because once you come to the very best version of you, you're not going to have that kind of nature. You become only kind of like a provider. You become kind of like a person, always sharing. And you become kind of like a person, always become a light. You don't look for light. You always give the light. And so then how you can refine yourself, how you can yourself uplift that better version from you, how you can get out of this dust that have inside us. And then this dust come out of the collective nature, and through our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, from our mind, and we always think, and then the desires. And it's same like, that if you look, you keep open the doors and the windows just for 24 hours at your home, and then start to look, how many dust it accumulate. So dust is the creator of this entire universe. not huge gems or the gold or the rocks. The very tiny dust, invisible dust, create this entire universe. So the same like, our dislike, our desires, our lethargic mind, our greediness, our anger, our hatred, kind of like a dust, create this, our life. So then you have to purify that, to bring the best out of you and bring the very clear mind, uplift your mind and experience the best out of this human world. So how you can do that? Because we already have the dust, and using the same dust we can't get out of it. And then how the mind collect the dust out of the desires. Why the desires come? Because the very reason, the very epicenter is the very magnet, the center is I am, this self-centered mind. That is the core reason. So we can't go into that in the beginning. Why? It's covered from the lot of dust. And that dust gives us the viewpoint. So that when we clean the dust, what happens? Our own viewpoint start to change. So our viewpoint we can't get. Listen this very carefully and try to catch it. Now our mind covered with a lot of dust. That dust came because of we have the wrong understanding, this body, this mind, this thought, these feelings, this name, this experience, we hold as I am. That is the very reason that all the desires, the anger, hatred, jealousy, that's everything came out of that. So now our point of view is wrong. From the point of when the wrong point of view, if you take another view, you can't get the right view. When you are in the wrong point of view, when you hold the wrong point of view, using that wrong point, you can't get the right view. So that's why our own mind, our own thoughts cannot take us to liberation or cannot take us to the purification. So then we need something, we have to bring some kind of wisdom. That is what called the Dharma. That is what the Buddha comes. That's what we into the Buddha's teaching. And that doesn't mean we take something and then we forget ourselves and we start to go with it. No, we correct ourselves. So for that, we have to get some advice, informations, help out of the teachings. So nothing wrong with that. You know, any successful person, any person in this world, everything in the world depends on something. So then, if you have that flexibility in your mind, listen this very carefully, be with me, try to catch it. If you have the idea to get help out of the Dharma, you become a humble person. That itself, release your self-centered view. Oh, I do myself. Oh, I don't want any help. Oh, I know how to do this. So that again and again make us tight. And most of people in this conventional life, from childhood, from preschool to universities, and even to the very high places. People can't get into success or the next level. One of the major reasons. If you into this self-development, you know that. If you don't know, you should know it and teach it to children. They don't like to get the help. And because of that, they can't reach to the highest. Why we just imagine, just think yourself, why people don't like get the help? Because they have kind of like a egocentric mind. Oh, I know how to do, oh, I can do myself. It's nothing wrong asking help. So Dharma is a kind of like a place that you can get the help. So to clear your view, when you start to learn the Dharma, and from that point, what happened, you start to correct the view. That means you start to work yourself and you adjust yourself. That's where you start with the right view. So in the Eightfold Path, the very first one, we call the right view. So then that right view doesn't mean you give up everything from you, you start to follow something else. No, you correct yourself. So then the very center point, you come to the present moment and settle down with your own inhalation, exhalation, and experience it as it is. So that is a very new experience for us. Why? Because as ordinary people, if you look very carefully, we learn always into something, go towards something, look into something, depending on something. We always into something. And when you into something, what happened? You forget deeper inside. So then where there are two very fair questions come. One is, in the beginning I told you, oh, if we always into outside, we can't take this anything. So that means if you give your whole life to outside world, you're going to lose your life. Another one is now, then later I mentioned, so if you into very self-centered mind, that way also you lose the path. So then how you can find the balance? So in the beginning, you develop the purification of your mind, and you purify yourself and get the better view. And once you come to the better view, what happens? Your bodily, verbally, mentally actions become more clear, and then you start to work yourself with the very clear mind, not result-based mind, not with the kind of like reactions-based mind. You start to come to yourself to perform, to do the necessary things in that necessary environment. But most of the time, if you look very carefully, in very conventional life, we do things to gain something. So now you change the angle. You do things because there is a reason for that. Only for that reason you do it. If there is no reason to do that, you don't do it. So then, if you're capable to do that, what happened as a result of that, again and again, your mind becomes very clear. So that is where you work for you, and at the same time, out of that, you gain the purification, And then you work for others also. And out of that, you don't develop any dependent nature. So we don't neglect ourselves. We don't neglect the outside. Because without outside, we can't purify ourselves. So, but that doesn't mean work for outside world. You should attach to that. So then in day-to-day life, you have responsibility to work for you and take care of yourself, but it is not because of I am. Why you have to take care of yourself? You should know if you go with this and it become endless journey. We are helpless. We can't escape from tomorrow. We can't escape from death. And death is not the problem. We're going to born again somewhere. That is the problem. So we are helpless. So then we have to look into that and say, if that way, because why we became helpless from the history, eons by eons in the samsaric journey, we hold it to this self-centered mind. That's the reason. So then we accumulated a lot of things. So then you have to get a very wise method to clean yourself, because just you can't throw it anything away. As you know, even in the material world, that you can get out of things, but maybe it is not the way you want. There is a system, there is a method. Once you understand that method, you can get out of it. Even the very simple thing that the trash bag, you can't just throw it out. But if when the necessary day come, you put it to the right place. Even you put it in the wrong place, they're not going to take it. You put it to the right place and you keep it out, the right day, and then it will take it. So then you adapt to that. You follow that system. The same thing with the mind also. Remember, it is not the way that you think. Then start to find the system, the method, the pattern. This everything the pattern. Once you recognize this pattern, that's done. Einstein found out one pattern, that's it. That everybody, that even nowadays, there are a lot of these apps, programs. What they found? They found out patterns. Once you found out the one pattern, it's kind of like a become, universal pattern. So there are million, trillions patterns around us. So then yourself, you became like this because of a pattern. Just recognize it. It is not a rocket science. So to recognize that, you have to have a clear mind. So the meditation is the method to make it more clear. To recognize that the pattern, how you became like this, because once you know that, you can change the pattern. If you don't know the pattern, how you can create a pattern or change the pattern? So the Nibbana there is a pattern when once you start. That's why it's very clear. Eightfold path. It is not a magic. You go, take 2 days and start to work only for Eightfold path. You get it. You need only 2 days. You recognize how you should be. From that point, once you know that, even as a habitual pattern, maybe you going to do things, but still your inner consciousness know What is that? But we don't do this. So remember yourself, once you get this pattern, once you into the pattern, you recognize it, how this come like this. Once you know it, you can have a very safe life inside you. And so for that, we get into the inhalation, exhalation. We start with our own simple life. And because the reason is this, in the very moment, in this very moment, if you look very carefully, your life happens. Not because of your surname, not because of your job, not because of the wealth you accumulated, not because of your, where you are, not because of your color or the nation or kind of like gender or kind of, your life happened because of the breathing. So you want to understand the pattern of the life, then go into the beginning point and observe it. That's it. See how simple it is. But we are mesmerized with the, many ideas. And now we into unnecessary informations. And when you observe inhalation, exhalation, only thing is be very careful not to interfere with it. Because our very reason to observe it and recognize the pattern. So then do that. Don't try to, rather than observing and in the beginning, rather than recognizing it, don't try to do something. Then you miss the point. And sometimes people think, I inhale, I exhale. I can't inhale. If I can inhale, I can live this life without dying. One day come for me, I can't inhale. And how many times you may told, I can't breathe. So then how you know, oh, I inhale, I exhale. Because the very simple truth that we know, there is no I. Even though conventionally we name it, there is no I. So that's why you have to get out of that. Just observe simply, allow your inhalation, exhalations happen, and just recognize it. When you recognize step by step, don't wait, don't just settle down there. See, little by little, go deeper and see. In the moment when the inhalation happens, this is inhalation, this is exhalation, this is the beginning, middle, end. You follow the entire continuation. And some inhalation become longer, shorter, exhalation become longer, shorter. So like that, you gain more and more and more details. So into inhalation, exhalation, focus, bring the collective awareness. And by the time your body, mind, breathing start to settle down. So then what will happen? In a certain level, now your awareness focus to breathing. Now by the time what will happen, little by little, the breathing become more subtle, soft. It's kind of like in a certain level, anymore you don't feel the breathing. It's not going to happen to everybody, but for sometimes. Then you start to see the thoughts. So anymore now you're not focused to inhalation, exhalation. Now the consciousness start to see how the thoughts arise. It's kind of like you go into the next level. It's like you take the flight and go higher with your parachute. And once you jump out of the plane or the helicopter, anymore you don't have the contact with that plane or the helicopter. Now you connected to the parachute. So like that, by the time you start to see thoughts, so it's still the inhalation, exhalations happen, but your awareness now from that level go to thoughts. And then you start to see very surface level of thoughts arising, disappearing, coming and going. And sometimes you start to see even the thoughts come, underneath that thoughts, the desires, the roots little bit. As example, maybe just imagine there is a mango or apple. You see it on the edge of the branch, but still you can see the connected to the branch and the tree and to the ground. Now you don't see the root, but still you know how the mango, the apple that you see, how the connection. So same like, now you see the thoughts, but still you see this thought just not alone. There is a deeper, another connection to that. So then you become more sharp and clear because it is your own mind. And little by little by little, by the time what happens, you go more deeper. It's like you go under the ground and see the roots of that tree like that. You go into the mental formation deeper. Cankers, you can see your own thoughts. The beginning point, the history of your thoughts. And that's where that all the everything going to boil and kind of like a vomit yourself. It's like when you eat some kind of poison or something, if it is inside your body, it has power to kill you maybe. But if you vomit it, when you drink too much alcohol, maybe it make you more dizzy. So then how about if you vomit it, then any more late a little bit, you feel good, you find the balance. So like that, when you see that depth of your thought, the cankers, the seeing itself is the method to vomit it, get it out. And then you anymore not going to react to the surface level of thoughts because you know yourself deeper from where it comes. And anymore, the surface level of thoughts doesn't work anymore. It doesn't have power to agitate you, take you with the current. Even that thoughts come, it will keep coming. But still it come, you're not going to react to it because your consciousness know from where it comes. And once you have it, just imagine you have thoughts. You see the reason and you not react. So then what will happen to you? You're going to change. That is what need. Once you have that, your purification, now your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, it's not because of the virtue, it's not because of the law and order, it's not because of fear. You're not going to react to that way. Why? Because you know from where it comes. And when you see it yourself, you recognize. And for most of the things, the very reason our own inner behavior, it brings you more self-confidence, self-awareness, and you recognize the builder is inside you. And once you know that anymore, you're not going to keep building this. So once you have that experience, no one can, into your head, and all the demons start to go away from you. And that is that clarity going to be there with you. That make you more and clear, and little by little, but that clarity bring you the awareness to become very clear with your perception, direct, that we call it the direct perception. Another thing is that it brings the power for yourself to act according to the necessary cause and conditions, or according to necessary environment. Act appropriately. And so once you have it, what else? There's nothing else. When the perception come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind itself, you recognize, and that recognition bring the clarity to yourself, and whatever that from your inner consciousness, any thoughts come out of you, and you know from where it come, and then you can select it, and then whatever you want to do with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, you take a conscious decision. And now you are in the safe mood. And anymore, you're not going to collect kind of like the reactive nature. Because there is no any karma going to react, collect. The very reason why the karma come to us, we act inappropriate way. We do things not exactly the right way. We do it wrong. That's why the wrong result still start to keep coming until we fix it. So if you react according to the necessary cause and condition, according to the necessary environment, there is no reaction. It is a done deal. So finally, this kind of like the inside job, it's nothing to do with outside. It is really 100% inside job. So this inside job went, wrong, and it's that's why this keep coming, keep happening. So you have to go into the core level and fix it. So the meditation, the breathing is the ladder you take, go into that. And once you go there and fix it, and that is where even you die in that, with the present moment, even in the very moment, if you focus to the inhalation, exhalation, and you, without reacting to it, if you start to observe, in that very moment, your consciousness come to very balanced, neutral moment. Maybe you will have some past karma keep coming, but from that point, if you die from that moment, itself, you're going to go to a better place and better place. You pick up the current, and then you will, there's no way you're going to return. You become an unreturn. Why? Because now you pick up the moment, how to settle down without reacting. So then by the time, in case if we are so fortunate to have more time for us to, before we die, maybe we have enough time to clean the soul. Go deeper inside and clean it. And then we know that anymore we don't collect out of our actions. And then we know ourselves anymore out of your own body, out of your own words, out of your own mind. There is no any actions going to come with the self-centered mind. Look for kind of like a result base, kind of like a reactions base. Any action not going to happen. And when you have that, you know what will happen next. So this is not a kind of like a intellectually we can understand. This all kind of like a giving guidelines for us to get a taste But once you start to work yourself, it is more beautiful, and it's giving you more and more strength. It make you more a better person. It make you more solid, grounded person within yourself. And this practice not going to take anything from you. Remember that. It's going to bring the real human mind to the highest. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. In your right palm on your left and neck, head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe out 3 times, please, and find the sensation. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, through the sensation of it, recognize inhalations as inhalations, exhalations as exhalations. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward, and upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya imaya dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjisami idamme punya kammang asavaktaya vannotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.